Hey everybody out there in the internet world, and welcome to another of my Dark Avengers comic book reviews. I really have to start getting a different intro to these videos, but for now, I'm Chris, you guys know Amber, and Mike's behind camera, but will be in front of the camera very soon. He's just going to be working the camera while I do the intro, do a few things really quick, and then we get into this week's comic books, which was the 26th of October 2011. First off, two DVDs one DVD came out this week, another came out the end of last week. Well, this week is in the week of the 26th. The other was the week of the 18th. Green Lantern and Captain America, and I'm pretty sure you guys know which out of the two movies did better. So, I'm looking forward to finally getting a chance to watch these movies. I have not watched. I have tons of DVDs I've been getting lately, and I am so far back on watching DVDs. I'm just so busy with, my time is very short right now. I have a lot of movies to catch up on from Marvel. Now I have one from DC, and I've got a couple of animated movies from both DC and Marvel. Also, Mike, you can just hand me those really quick. Just put them right here for right now, and I'll hand them to you when we're done, or you move them when you're ready to sit. First off, I know I've talked about this, and it's finally done, said and done. I said it was going to take 6 months. It only took approximately a month. Yes, I mentioned it in my 100th episode. We're in 104, 4 weeks later. Volume 4 of Lock and Key. We are now up to date with Lock and Key, the entire story up to the comic books. What I'm going to do is read this book, give a review on that after reviewing Volume 3, which I've read mostly through. Read this book, give a review on this, then I'll go back on the other two comics, read them, stick them in a comic book review when I catch up. I have to catch up, I have to read through this book a bit more. Another book, really quickly, that I'd like to get into. This is a very big book. Not just in size, but in price. Unless you order on Amazon, and they take about more now than $40 off this book. DC has been shoving Batman in everybody's face. Batman is basically DC Comics' Spider-Man. Batman Noel is slated for next week. That's the hardcover book. That's going to be like DC's holiday special this year, since they're not going to have a holiday special, and they didn't have a Halloween special or a Thanksgiving special. So basically they're throwing Batman at us at every angle they can, because the Batman movie's coming out, and no offense but the Batman comics are good, but it's a little bit too much. And I'm going to be doing a separate review on this book. I'm just showing that I got it this week. It was released on, I want to say the 25th. Yeah, I got it on the 26th. It was released on the 25th. It is the Batman Files. It is retailed at $100, but it is not $100. I did not pay anywhere near that amount of money. You go on Amazon.com, you'll see for yourselves. A lot cheaper. I will be doing a full-fledged review on this book at a later date. There is not enough time. What are you doing? There's not enough time to do it in this comic book review. There's a lot I have to say about it, and I don't want to waste too much time on one book. I'd rather stick it into its own little review. Also, really quick, some pickups that Amber did. She got me What If Venom, I know, What If, it's a full run of What Ifs. What If Venom had possessed Punisher, which was What If number 44. What If Wolverine, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was number 7. What If Iron Man lost the Armor Wars, and that was number 8. The closest to number 1 I've gotten so far of the What If series, What If Steve Rogers refused to give up being Captain America? And What If the X-Men died on their first mission? All really fun What If books to read. I would highly recommend a few of these books, not all of them. Some of the What Ifs are really who cares more than What Ifs. So, yeah. If you don't mind, Michael. So, that's the What If books. I'm thoroughly enjoying reading these, because some of them are really good, like I said, and some of the books are a miss. But check out some What If books if you get a chance. Also, really quick, my old book of the week that I did not show you guys when I was doing my unboxing is Fantastic Four 207, guest starring Spider-Man. It was, and the monocle is controlling the Human Torch, and that's why it's the whole Spider-Man versus Human Torch. Yeah, it's just old comic of the week, basically. That's what it is.
Why doesn't it destroy Spider-Man like Puppet destroy him?
The monocle has the ability to control people's minds. So that's old comic of the week. And with that, Mike, you can come sit down because Amber's going to be reviewing this oldie before we get into the actual new stuff. Hello.
Catwoman #2, September '93.
You want to say why you're reviewing this?
Yes, I'm doing a bit of a compare-contrast on Catwoman. Not much has changed. Her costume has changed. She's become a little more
I like the newer
lustful
one.
towards Bruce Wayne.
That's an epic picture.
But in this issue, her apartment gets blown up by a rocket.
Again.
No, this is kind of one of the few
yeah.
times that it was blown up, or many times I should say.
She
Anyway.
should be used to this, okay?
Yeah. The rocket blew up her apartment. There was a girl in it who had run away from home. She rescued her. The police believe that she is, the police believes that she's the one who blew up the apartment because she's in her costume instead of, you know, normal human. And she goes into a plane with Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
But pretty much the same. In love with Bruce Wayne.
Batman.
Yeah. Her apartment gets blown up. Costume's different, but other than that.
Just sex down a bit, I would say, mostly. So they just added some extra sex. Now, really quick before we get into this week's comic books, you guys remember, I don't remember how many episodes back, Image Comics sent me The Vault #1. They wanted me to review it. I got it in the mail, and I said I enjoyed it. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the series because so much stuff I'm buying, which I'm going to get into later on in the review. But I could not afford to get 2 and 3, and it's been now several months. Yeah, several months. I'll say that because I have no idea how many months it's been since I reviewed this. And I had gotten nothing back from Image. And for a little while there, I thought I was actually, put it over there when you're done. I thought that I was dropped, you know, kind of sad, really wanted to see how the series ended. And then this week, on Friday, I was, well, either Friday or Thursday, I was given a pleasant surprise. I got something in the mail from Image. What?
You got it right after it came out, right?
Yeah.
July.
Okay, so it's been 2 months. No, it's been 4 months. Approximately July, August, September, October. No, 3 months. Anyway, Image sent me The Vault, volume #2 and #3. And I must say, this was a really, really good series. I would highly, I'm going to start with this one, recommend this series. In this issue, they exhumed the bones. And I don't know, I get the feeling of, you saw the movie The Thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has that feel to it. Like, the bones are dead at first. But then it turns out that spear and medallion that was, remember the spear that went through the skeleton? That was basically keeping it dead. Somebody takes it out, and you don't find out who in issue 2. And it was keeping it dead. So the spear's gone, so is the medallion. The thing comes to life and starts killing everyone. Actually, it only kills one person before they all run off. And,
That's like the Vampire Diaries.
yes, anyway, they think it dies in the end because it's shot. One of them shoot it, and it disappears. But then at the very end, you see dead horses in the field. That's the end of #2. Then, no, these stay here. Then, this is coming out. This has been released this week, I believe. I want to say it's this week. I'm going to say it's this week. Anyway, The Vault #3, they're on the ship, and they're calling it the Angel of Death, is the one, it chases after them, and it starts killing them off one by one. And they find out who the person was that stole the medallion and the spear. And it turns out it was Jesus, for those of you who are reading the series. And it's basically his fault this thing is up and running and walking around now. So, long story short, they have to find a way to trap it on the boat. And to be continued. You guys got to read it. I can't spoil it for you. And to be honest, the ending isn't even an ending. It says the end begins. So technically, this ends with a possible sequel. I like the series. I love it a lot. The Vault is definitely something you guys should be checking out. I'm happy I actually have this, because at least it's something from Image, because I dropped Spawn, and Haunt is on the fence right now, and a few other, everything else is gone, Walking Dead. So I was very happy to get these 2 issues. enjoyed reading this book immensely. Highly recommend all 3 parts of The Vault. It was a really good little side story. There is a warning though. It is very gruesome. Lots of not decapitation, but lots of death, and yeah, just be forewarned. It's
Fair warning.
yeah. It's just yeah. Let's just slide these over a bit and put those there. And the first book is Amber's.
Angel and Faith number 3. I'm just gonna kind of boil it down. It's very good.
Yeah, I
love
was
this
reading it
series.
with you. It looked good. Well,
Pretty much
cool.
what happens is there's a auction. I'm just gonna boil it down to that part. There's
Yeah,
an
the
auction,
end, towards the middle of the end.
for the Moro's blood. And they're like, well, how do we know that this is real? How do we know that this is real? And everything like that. And so he shows them the real Mora. And, well, of course, Angel releases him. And he's like, now let's get out of here because he needs the Mora blood to bring Gil back. Gil's, sorry. Back. And
Don't look at me. I don't know who any of these people are.
Faith is going to try, well, pretty much how it runs down is Faith is going to shove the Mora blood down Angel's throat to bring him to human again. But, the Mora kills himself.
Yeah, that was,
Spoiler there. The Mora kills himself because he's like, I'm too weak to be of any use of you. I'm too weak to be of any use for you. So I would rather die, and I think you should do the same.
Shut it.
And, like, die with honor, kind of thing. And so, yeah.
Sorry about getting up and down.
Really, really good, though. I really like the series.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to know what's going on in Buffy, though, but it's 9 seasons
It's
in.
season 9, yeah. I don't know if it's season 9 that's pertaining to the actual series. Might get rid of that thing, or else I swear to God I'm gonna. But I don't know if it's season 9 through the TV or if it's season 9 through the comics. If it's season, oh, forget it then. You're 9 years behind, babe. You're not gonna catch up.
I could.
Yeah, exactly. But Lord knows how many trade paperbacks it would be.
Anyway, I'm gonna continue reading it.
Last independent for this week. Remember, guys, the 26th of October, 2011. We are up to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 3. Now, guys, you know how I feel about relaunches and restarts and everything like that. This is a retelling of TMNT Origins, and it is really, really good. I'm enjoying it. Throughout the book, there is one flashback in this book, and that is what happens right before the Turtles mutate into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And they, please shut that door and keep it shut. I don't care anymore. Like, close it completely. Sorry for the background noise, stuff going on indoors and everything like that. So anyway, yeah, I saw. So anyway, in this book, you find out what happened with Donatello, how he's separated from his brother, so to speak. Like how it happened. You get a little bit more backstory on Old Hob. Not Donatello, Raphael.
Yeah,
This is what happens when you have distractions in the background. Guys, make sure your backgrounds when you're shooting your videos have no interferences by animals.
You're still your cat.
Anyway,
Sometimes.
so
You period.
exactly, Raphael is buddying around with Casey, who is. It is nice. You find out a bit about Casey too, how he had a scholarship for hockey, but because his grades were slipping, he was losing his scholarship and the money that he was getting from wherever, I believe it was the school, to actually play for their team. Then it turns out the Turtles are still searching for Raphael at night, but Donatello and Michelangelo are not happy about it
Do
anymore.
they always have? They
always
always search
fight?
for Raphael.
I know, but
All the
no,
time.
and this time it's the first time. This is, Raphael never actually, they
Left
never were
before.
together. Yeah, he never left before. He was lost in the beginning. And it's Splinter's guilt that's sending the Turtles out to find their brother. And Donatello and Michelangelo are getting pissed off at Leo, saying, you know, you're following Splinter's orders, but you gotta admit, he's probably not alive. You gotta admit he's possibly dead, and this is all guilt, these things. So we should go out and start fighting crime. And Leo's like, fine, we'll do that, but we're gonna keep searching for Raph. And they basically come to agree. And then basically, long story short, in the end, Casey and Raph are met up by Old Hop.
Oh, wow.
To be continued. By the way, this is cover B.
Or another cover.
Yes. Corn on the cob, right. Hob.
I know, Mr. Hob, corn on the cob.
Right. I'm enjoying this series. I love TMNT. If I have to rate between the two new titles that IDW's given me, between Ghostbusters and TMNT, I'm sorry, Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters. I wish I had the money to actually buy that replica prop of that ghost trap that came out during Comic-Con, but I do not have $200 to spend on that replica. So yeah, no replica, guys. Out of the two, though, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are way higher than Ghostbusters right now. The series is really good. It started off great. It's into it, but then again, this is an issue ahead of Ghostbusters, so maybe that's why. Maybe by the time Ghostbusters 3 comes out, I'll be saying they're equal again. But I've always loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ghostbusters was more of a movie we watched as a child, and that was basically it.
Those were great.
Yeah, the cartoon, though, of TMNT was on all the time, and we always watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the original cartoon, not TMNT.
Plus the movie, not the 3D, like
the three movies.
The 3 movies.
The 3 movies were great.
Absolutely.
I would recommend this. Okay.
I need to get behind it.
Okay, get behind it. I can't move.
Can't get behind it.
So I would absolutely recommend this. The artwork is great, and it's an absolute pickup. You seriously got up just to throw something away? No, she didn't. Okay, we're moving into the big two. First off, FF number 11. I'm agreeing with you, Spidey, my friend Spider-Man 1991. These issues all feel like one huge filler. From issue like 3 until now, feel like a filler, getting everybody ready for Fantastic Four 600. Because that's where, after this issue, it says to be continued in Fantastic Four 600. Why? We won't know yet. Well, we know why, but the whole point of this is filler. It's all to set you up for the big event of number 600. And I'm being honest, if it's true and FF becomes more for the kids only, not the actual Fantastic Four team, I'm dropping FF like a hot potato, and I'll probably pick up Fantastic Four until it sucks. And then I'll probably drop Fantastic Four 2, regardless of if, thank you, that's what you went for, if it's good, if it's got Spidey in it or not. Not if it's good or not. If it's good, then who cares, I'll be getting it. Best splash page in the entire book is Captain America and Reed Richards talking to the Avengers, the FF, and everybody else, basically. In this book, long story short, the Reed Richards are judged by the human, I can't remember their name, and they're trying to plan I'm trying to get the page first. Here we go. Supremer is basically brought back with the, I don't know if it was the death or the brought togetherness of the two Reeds, but basically, yeah. And they become Supremer, and the Supremer now wants revenge against the FF. Once again, if you are not familiar with Fantastic Four, this is, I'm even sort of confused about what's happening. If anybody's really into FF, please personal message me and try to catch me up a bit, because I'm a little bit confused on what's going on, but I will be sticking around for Fantastic Four 600. Amber, what are you doing?
Reading.
Why are you reading over there when we're doing a comic book review?
Because I don't want to push you forward, man.
Don't worry about it, come on. Fear Itself, the Fearless, number 1. It's okay. Long story short, Valkyrie wants to take the hammers from the Serpent King and bring them back to Asgard, where they can be guarded there. Steve Richards doesn't want to do that. Steve Richards kind of wants to keep them under lock and key and have the superheroes protected. And the whole what?
What?
Explain. I'll explain when you're done with this.
The whole problem is Valkyrie gets pissed off and says, "You're not going to listen to me," so she goes rogue, basically, not the character, and steals the hammer that Sin had. And basically, she's going to make it her mission to get all of the hammers before Steve Rogers now, and before Sin, because now it turns out throughout this book, Sin is looking for the hammers as well.
What's the deal with getting all these hammers? Like, they become supreme or something?
Apparently the hammers still have some type of power. So Valkyrie wants to get them and bring them back to Asgard so they can be protected there. Steve Rogers wants to get the hammers so that they can be protected by the armies and superheroes. And Sin wants them because she basically wants to take over the world and kill Steve Rogers and Captain America in general. And I don't know. I'm not. This issue was okay. I'm going to let, since I bought issue 2 already, because I got this a week late. This was actually released on the week of the 19th. I'm gonna let next week's issue make or break this series for me. It was a interesting start. Let's see how it goes from issue 2.
Okie dokie.
Okay, now without any more distractions, because Lord knows I've already gotten distracted throughout most of these books. Daken Dark Wolverine number 16. What?
Can you make a reference with this?
At the end of the book.
Okay.
In this issue, Daken is after the guy that gave him the pills. I cannot remember his name at the moment because of all the crazy crap that's been going on. Oh, it's right here. No, it's not. By the way, guys, I will tell you, we'll mention one thing. In the last issue, I mentioned that this was going to continue the story. Apparently, this is starting a new story, and the new story is called Pride Comes. So this is a completely new story altogether. Gotta find the guy's name.
You know, sometimes the names just... That's what happens when I read.
They slip, and
that's what happens when I do comic books. I have to always look and see what the name
Dawkins'
is.
healing factor is still on the... Oh, Marcus Roston. Marcus Roston, thank you. Dawkins' healing factor is still on the blink. Marcus Roston wants to destroy Daken and basically kill Agent Keel, is now under the influence of the heat pills. So she'll do whatever Roston wants as long as she gets her next fix. Yeah, that's what happens. So now Roston basically wants to destroy Daken. Daken's after Roston, and Keel basically is under the influence, once again, of the heat pills. That's basically the whole story in a nutshell. And then in the end, Daken meets up with Roston, where he kills all the crime lords in Los Angeles that were following basically Daken's lead. And to be continued, because Daken shows up and he's like, I'm going to kill you now. Interesting story. I just want this LA story to end. I'm being honest, it's just overdone. Also, Roston has the ability to shapeshift. That's why he actually looked like Daken. So, thank God it wasn't.
And what was that thing that she was going to say?
Oh yes, what were you going to say at the very end of this?
You told them about the...
I did not. You could say who's guest starring in the next issue.
The Runaways. But their parents were called the Pride.
Yeah, I believe that's the whole point. The Pride is, that's why it's called The Pride Comes Before the Fall.
I know, but I didn't see that before, and it clicked in my head, so...
Ah, okay, gotcha. Now, before we get into the big event from Marvel that ended this week, we're going into the number ones. There are 2 that were released this week. Incredible Hulk number 1. In this story, it begins with the Hulk. He's finally at peace. He's living underground with the mole people. I believe they're the mole people because the mole man is around them all the time. I know this through several other comic book and cartoon references. He's living in peace with them. He basically brings them food, and they basically look up to him like a god, basically. Basic speak. And then it turns out somebody from the dark side of the government show up, and they want the Hulk's help. And Hulk wants to destroy them. They're like, we come in peace, chill, we need your help. Turns out you're not our problem anymore. Banner is. So apparently Bruce Banner is the one that's been the bad guy all these years and not the Hulk.
Wow.
And they leave you off with the Hulk. Then the second part of the book, or basically the last couple of pages of the book, is Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner has gone mad, people. I'm not kidding. He's in this jungle. He's secluded from the world, and he's taking all the animals from the jungle and trying to turn them into the Hulk.
What?
He's trying to make them into the Hulk, basically either to destroy the Hulk, either he's trying to destroy the Hulk, or he's trying to figure out the formula to recreating the Hulk so he can become the Hulk again. It's not clear.
How do you turn the animals to...
How do you turn the animals into the Hulk?
And make them all like...
Well, he does something to this one, but he says it's not right. None of them are right. None of them None of them are him.
That's just weird. I think Bruce Banner has gone a little cuckoo.
He has, and She-Hulk, I believe, is going to be guest starring in the next one. I love the cover for Incredible Hulk #2 with the Great White Sharks. You guys know it already. So, yeah. Really good. I'll be sticking around for a bit. Story was really fun. It's a great jumping on point, guys. Marvel has not disappointed me yet with any of their #1s. There will be one #1 I'm probably not going to be getting #2 to, and that's next week's #1 of Uncanny X-Men, but we'll discuss that next week. This week we're discussing this. I would say the artwork is great in this. The story looks promising. Bruce Banner is the villain here, and the Hulk is the hero. Never thought you'd say that in the same sentence, did you? Or hear that in the same sentence.
Well,
so I leave it up to you. The better, in my opinion, of the two, though, was Wolverine and the X-Men #1. I have to say, I am not a big fan of Chris Bocciollo's art. Never was a fan because I don't like the cartoony art. Especially when it comes to Wolverine, I believe Wolverine is a serious character and he needs serious artwork. But in this book, I can understand the cartoony animation. In this book, it's all about the school's opening and they have to get the approval of the Board of Ed. So they're showing these people around from the board and they basically have to approve. And it's funny how they're going from place to place. Kitty Pryde is headmistress. In the very end of the book, actually, because you're paying $3.99. And you know why you're paying $3.99? I'll tell you right now why you're paying $3.99. You're paying $3.99 because you get a teaser, which we'll get to. You get the staff on another page. And then to round the whole thing off, you get the invitation to the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. Yes, that definitely makes it $1 more.
It's worth it, yeah.
Even the Hulk is $3.99, and there's no extra stuff in the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk.
I guess, there are just some interesting points, maybe, about it.
And this is why I think this team, Wolverine and the X-Men, have a little bit more credibility. Professor Xavier is there. And he's talking to Wolverine about what it's like opening a school. He said, if anybody ever thought you were cool before, that's over now. Now you're the headmaster. You are completely uncool, the end. He's like, can I back out now? Because the last thing Professor Xavier said was, be ready to have a lot of money because this place is going to be destroyed more times than you can count on your 2 hands and feet combined. And he's like, can I back out now? He's like, no, you'll do fine. Idy still believes, this is what Idy pisses me off. She's a really sweet girl, but she believes that all mutants are monsters, including herself. Look at that cold face. Look at that cold face. We're all monsters. Smiles. She drives me crazy. It's like, Idy, please. And then at the very end, we have 28 seconds left. We'll leave it for the next part.
Oh, okay.
Alright guys, so we're going to cut off here. And then we'll get into the end of this book. And we'll continue along with Marvel. And then we will start in the DC New 52 where we've got a bunch of news as well. So we will see you guys in the next part. Stay tuned. A lot more to discuss. See you guys there.